Peace, family. So we back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how social media is not to blame. We have to stop blaming the tools. The tools is not the cause of the problem. The problem is the entities and the beings that are using the tools. I don't know how many times I have to watch content on YouTube, because I live on YouTube. I'm not big on all the other medias. I don't scroll through Instagram. I don't be on TikTok. I don't scroll through Facebook. But the amount of people I constantly see blaming social media. Blaming social media is like blaming the knife. You know, when knives were invented, the metal knives, not wooden knives, you know, they were used to help cook, prepare, protect. But you also have other entities and beings that will take that same knife that's used for productivity and do something counterproductive with it, like cause harm to other people. It gets frustrating hearing people who seems to be knowledgeable, but when they're making points and statements, they're constantly ducking where the accountability is supposed to go to. See, I grew up in a generation without technology, so for a lot of us, if you wanted people to remember you as who you are, then you had to be you in real lifetime. You know, growing up was my word is my bond and my bond is my word. Whether everybody stood by that is something completely different. And I don't say that to say like my generation was better, because clearly my generation had a huge partake in a lot of these witchcrafts and spells that's been going on. But as far as where society is moving forward now, a lot of us over here in this space, we understand that we took those tools, meaning social media, and we figured out to make our lives more beneficial, you know, to help assist us in having a more fruitful life, to educate ourselves, to learn, you know. We even also entertain with a lot more healthy substance. Meaning that some people look at walking as, you know, something that they just don't want to do, you know, unless it's going to the store, going to work, you know. But us over here, we took walking as a way for us to reconnect with either nature and life. If you're out in these kind of spaces, if you're in the city and you taking walks, you take the positive outlook of you going on the walk. Yes, it's city and it's chemicals everywhere, which is chemicals everywhere in these places too. But as far as the city, we know they're more polluted. But you take that time, even when you take your walks then, to be like, oh, it's nice to get out and get fresh air. It's nice to be able to breathe, you know. Your cup is half full. But watching and hearing some of these podcasts and some of these people who are in higher up positions, the way people use the word social or the words social media, it's like they replaced the word they that we used to use before the technology was given to us as advanced as it is. Because a lot of this technology has been here, it wasn't given to the masses. So to constantly blame social media for people being in these spaces, yes, it may have some influence, you know what I mean? But for a lot of us, and I know for me, because I grew up without it and we got a whole generation, and my daughter, this is all she knows is all of this space right here. I have to constantly do my due diligence with her and to get her out in these kind of spaces to make sure we have downtime without our technology, because we live in our technology, you know. I just make sure she learns how to use it productively if she spends too much time on entertainment things, you know. But I don't ever tell her social media is to blame. I don't point other people that's looking or needing, you know, a different insight or outlook and tell them that social media is to blame or is the problem. The problem starts with the accountability constantly and consistently being passed around, you know, and we all understand that it's only two teams in the middle of this realm right now. You either with the creator, God, source, Allah, whatever, you know, branch you are on. I say branch because you got to look at it like you have the military, army, navy, and all these other special forces and blah, blah, blah that goes connected to the military. But the military, if you ever seen, we used to have to make it when we was little, when you brainstorm, you would make like the spider. So the big thing in the middle would be military. For us, the big bubble in the middle would be God, creator, source. And then you would have different spider legs, which you would have Christianity connected to it. You would have Allah, you know, Islam connected to it, Buddhism, Judaism, all the isms that are correlated with source and creator. We knew that we had to be more productive and more beneficial with the use of this technology, especially considering that they saying all of this technology is smart. But if you ever really used your technology and paid attention to your process, you would see how much not smarter this technology is than us. I don't know if that makes sense, but we're going to put it together today. I notice with my daughter, she do the same thing that I do, you know. It's kind of like we are so much faster than this technology, which is why sometimes you find yourself getting irritated, frustrated, low on impatience or low on patience due to the fact that when you click on something, you need it to go straight there. Kind of like in our spirit world, when we think of something, we process something, it's there immediately. We need that to happen with this technology, or I should say we would like for that to happen with that technology, but it doesn't. See, they use this terminology smart, and when I hear smart, that means that something or someone has to be dumb. I don't see myself as a dumb being, even if I do get put in some weird situations or some decisions I make may put me in some weird positions, but I'm one of them beings that I'm very curious and I like to experience things in order to receive more knowledge and information and gain some experiences in certain departments. There are beings that are typing on keyboards. There are beings that are typing on these phones. So to constantly blame social media for everything when a lot of us over here, social media has been extremely beneficial and helpful to our ascension and our rise in this realm. And it's kind of hard to turn back to all the BS, all the brain rot entertainment that's out here. And when I talk to my mini about this, because she's part of the new generation that they love shorts, you know. I say shorts because I'm on YouTube. I don't be on TikTok. But they love shorts, which I understand it kind of shortens your attention span. So I'm always mindful if she's using her phone and hanging out on shorts entirely too long. You know, I don't mind it a little bit. I had to experience a lot of this stuff without any guidance growing up, so I'm not one of those parents slash leaders of my daughter that will, let's say, not allow her to experience some of this realm in which we do have, because we are in the States. You know, if we was born in another part of the country, we wouldn't even have half of this stuff we have over here in the States to experience. You know, we would still be in a spiritual mind of saying, okay, we want to get this together, we want to get that together. I mean, but you do got tribes and communities outside of this culture that is cool where they at. Yes, there's a lot of beings using this social media backwards and is using it wrong. And I don't really get too mad or faulty at them, because they following the system that's in charge, which is the head of their household. The system. You know what I mean? And I always try to be mindful of like the spaces they are in when they are partaking in some of these things. You know, you don't never know how detrimental someone's situation is, why they are taking some of the steps they take and why they made some of the decisions they make. You don't have to know everybody's decisions why they doing what they are doing. But it does help when judging others, because that's what we do. I know a lot of people hate to be like, oh, I don't like to judge other people. Judging is what we do. Point blank, period. You know, it's one of the safest ways in order to keep yourself out of harm's way, by being able to judge. You know, if it's nighttime and you're a female and you're walking down a dark alleyway, it's like, and you see two people at the end, you're gonna judge the situation. That's just how it goes, you know? It's not anything to beat yourself up or be like, oh, well, I'm a bad person for judging. If we wasn't supposed to judge, it wouldn't be part of our curriculum being here in this realm. We know when we are judging someone unfairly, because the guilt always kicks in. You know, it's always a little bit more emotions behind it while you're making that decision to judge, you know. But we still have to be safe at the same time, because we are in a world where these demons get to roam free. When I say they get to roam free, they are all over our social medias. They are in your house. They are on these roads. When you leave your house, you really don't have a choice if you want to survive out here. And I always keep these things in mind, you know, because society, the way society is set up in these Western cultures right now, when you're standing on principles, morals, and value that align with Source, God, Creator, everybody else is going to shun you, or they're going to say, well, I have my own principles, morals, and values. Well, your shit don't align with Source and Creator, so it has to align somewhere. It's only two teams, so if it ain't aligning with my team, guess what? I'm assuming it's aligning with the other team. And we all have to be mindful of these things. Whether they shut TikTok down, Facebook, Instagram, they might even do YouTube the same way, you know? Even if they shut it down, we'll still have those same people who was behind those keyboards, behind those phones, doing what they do, you know? It just so happens that we project a lot of love and light, and because our morals and values align with Source and God, a lot of us have to walk a life where we get pushed to the bottom of the totem pole. You know, it's beings on here that it's becoming okay to steal and not have any consequences behind it. You know, if you got the right bag, you can swipe left on people and not have no consequences on it. Or if you have the right medical conditions, they'll give you a pass. It's weird to me that somebody who has a disorder or some kind of mental health thing that they do, they call everything mental health. What is mental health to y'all? Y'all gotta put your thought process down when it comes to mental health down there in the comments. What does mental health means to you? Because I know for me, mental health is one of those words that is thrown out everywhere, all day, 24/7 now in today's society. Mental health this, mental health that. Well, you got to be concerned with your mental health. Well, what is their mental health like? And it's like, before that terminology was given to us, we just knew that we had issues that we needed to work through, work out, get around, you know. But now it's become a blanket statement for sympathy. You know, people like, yeah, well, because my mental health. Look, you have mental health issues. I'm going to use their terminology because we're in modern day slavery. You naturally don't want to align yourself with this system and what all these other weird, witchy people out here are doing. So in your world, it's like, oh shit, something gotta be wrong with me. Like, oh, I be not wanting to go to work. I just be wanting to relax and rest. I wanna, I wanna build this thing over here. I wanna entertain the way I want to. I wanna do these things, but my mental health is so bad. No, mental health is a cop-out for this slavery and a way to not fight back or push back. In my books. Somebody else's books, it could be something completely different, which is cool. But when I look at the overall picture and how people are using this terminology, and all over social media with it as well too, that's like the answer and solution for everything. But nobody tells you that, okay, well, if you're having mental health issues, you should work on your connection with source. Connection with source is like the remedy for almost everything out here outside of your diet. Outside of your diet, your connection with source is going to be the main ingredient to your recipe in this realm of reality. We don't have to watch any of this ignorant, unhealthy stuff that they put on social media, Of course, we all like a little drama here and there. I think that's just part of our nature to a degree, because you don't go out your house every day see people arguing, but when you go on social media, you can see a bunch of people arguing all day if you want to, You may only see one argument, a quarter of an argument in real lifetime. Everything is amplified, and then if you watch one of them, the algorithms is gonna push more to you. We just got to be mindful that they're constantly giving us reasons to point the finger outside of accountability. And I know none of us is perfect over here, and we all are in this slavery system and figuring out how to manage and keep our connection with source as tight as possible. Wow, we have to dance around and still play this damn game. I am so overplaying this game. I'm literally like double dutching the game. Like some days I be sitting there like, do I want to play? Do I want to play? Nah. Next day, do I want to play? Do I want to play? Nah. Something happens. I'm like, shit. You forcing me to play the game now. That's why it's important to at least know the game. Even if you don't want to play it, learn it, know it. It's always more helpful and beneficial to you having the knowledge to be able to protect and to defend yourself, or to just take initiative. Sometimes it's not protection or defense. You just need to take some initiative to get other things in motion. We got to keep this stuff in here and in here at all times. We can no longer blame social media because everyone that's in this side, on this side, we are the definition that social media is not the issue. It's the people, the beings, the entities. It's not the social media that is the problem, But I ain't want to run it up too long. I just wanted to drop something slight down here for y'all. Just be mindful because we all using these apps. I know, apps when they was originally called applications. And a lot of the new generation don't even understand that it was called applications. They just know them as apps. Everything has become short and abbreviated. You are way more wiser, and I'll use the word smarter, than this technology. Only difference with the technology is it was a collective of people and beings putting all of their different knowledge and source of information in one pot. That's like you've been a fireman your whole life. You know everything about that kind of department from the top to the bottom, but you don't know about electricity, how the electrical wires run. But if you got these two people in the room and then they put all of their information in one pot, that's gonna be way more helpful to the people behind, unless you're using it in an unhealthy manner. So just imagine everybody with all their professions all sitting around a round table. Boom, they put it all in one device. Here you go. We still way more knowledgeable than these devices, and they still are going to need us to operate these devices. Somebody got to push a button. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.